right, this video is about dimension analysis and conversion, but mostly we're concentrating on the metric system. So I'm going to show you two different ways you can navigate through the metric system, and it's up to you. It's not a big deal. I gave you a chart here, and this doesn't have all of the different prefixes on it, but it has many of them. And so this is where I want to start with the chart that I gave you on the handout. In the center column is the base. So the base unit for length is meters. And so we work off of, it's considered 10 to the 0, which is 1. And then 1/10 of a meter, or 10 to the negative 1, is, this is called a decimeter. So this prefix is deci. And then we go next, it's centimeter. Centimeter, I'll just do the DM stands for decimeter, CM stands for centimeter, and then to the 1/1000th of that, or 10 to the negative 3, is a millimeter. And then I skipped a few units, and this is a common one called a micrometer, and its symbol is kind of a U. It looks a U shape. Micro. Okay. So this meter will change if we're not doing length, but we were doing volume, which is liters, is the base for volume. Then that would be deciliter, centiliter, millimeter, microliter. Same thing. Or for weight, which is grams, deca, centa, milli, microgram. Just depends on what base you're using. Now if we go the other direction, this is where it gets bigger. These are bigger units. This is called a deca times 10, and DAM is its heading. Hecto, HM, or kilometer. And it goes on, but these are just the ones I chose to look at. So I meant to write the heading up there. If this is like kilometer, hectometer, decameter, decimeter, centimeter, millimeter, or micrometer. I think I was meant to write the heading up here, but I just said it out loud, so I'll just leave that as it is. Okay. And like I said, these will change depending on what unit. So this is for length. Okay. This is for volume, liter, and this is for weight. Okay, so same thing. Oops, it's a centigram, milligram, and microgram. Okay, so that's just the little subsystems. Okay, we want to have that on there. Now, number 1, it says how many millimeters are in 3 kilometers, or 3 kilometers is equal to how many millimeters? Okay, start with what you know. This is the first way I'm going to show you how to do this. Start with what you know, which we know are in kilometers, right here, the K's. And we want to move all the way to the millimeters. So how many spaces do we move? We move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We moved 6 spaces to the right. What that means is you take your decimal point where it currently is, and it's currently here, and we move it 6 places to the right. So how many millimeters this will be? Start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We moved our decimal places 6 places to the right. So this is 3 million millimeters is what this turned out to be. That's one way of thinking about this. I want you to get used to scientific notation. So scientific notation is where you write it as 3.0 times 10. We move our decimal to here, from here all the way to the first place to the right of a non-zero number. So this is 3.10 to the 6th is another way of writing this, millimeters. Okay, so that is the first one. Okay, number 2, let's look at this. How many kilometers are in, all of these millimeters? So we could start with what we know, 3, 6, millimeters is equal to how many kilometers? Okay, well this time we start with millimeters and we want to go back to kilometers. Okay, so we're starting here. Start here. Millimeters, and we want to go to kilometers. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but we go to the left. That means we take our decimal here and we're going to go left 6 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to get moved to there. That means there's 36,000 kilometers in 36 billion millimeters. So again, scientific notation. If we were going to write this, ready? This is 3.6 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to the 10th. That's what this would have been originally if we wrote it like that. And this in scientific notation is 3.6 times 10 to the 4. Okay, just so you get used to saying that. Number 3. How many grams are in 45,000 milligrams? Start with what you know. 45,000 milligrams are equal to how many grams? Okay, let's start with the milli. Where's milli? Here's milli, milligrams. And we're going to go to grams, which is the base. 1, 2, we traveled 3 to the left. Where's my decimal? I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 to the left. 45 grams is the answer to that one. Okay, how many milliliters are in 12.2 liters? Start with what you know. 12.2 liters are equal to how many what? Milliliters. Okay, we're going to go milliliters. Well, we're starting with liters, which is the base, and we're traveling to milliliters, which is over here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 to the right. Take your decimal, travel 3 to the right. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3. 12,200 milliliters. Okay. So number 5 goes like this. How many centigrams are in 12.25 kilograms? 12.25 kilograms are equal to how many centigrams? Okay. Start with what you know, which is kilograms. Over here. And we want to go to centigrams. Over here. Let's travel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to move 5 to the right. Your decimal 5 to the right. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1,225,000 centigrams are in 12.25 kilograms. All right, so number 6, last one of these, like this. Number 6, they say how many milligrams are in 457 microliters. Oh wait, let me try again. How many, milliliters are in 457 microliters. So start with what you know. 457 microliters, how many milliliters? Okay, we're over here, but you can't just, I'm on 10 to the negative 6. So this one I'm going to show you how to do differently. There are, if I'm going to do this different way, what I like to do is, I'm going to do this one through sort of dimension analysis like we did the last time. So I want to, and then I'm going to backtrack and do these others the same way instead of just the jump method. Because right here I jumped 3. I can't just do that. So let's do it a different way so that what if you don't have this nice little chart and you got to do it a different way? Let's figure that out. Okay, start with what you know. 457 microliters over 1. Put it over 1. This is how I do it. You don't have to do it this way, but this is a way that works pretty good. Go to the base, and from the base, go to where you're headed. So what is the base in this one? The liter. So what I know, see, what is this 10 to the negative 6? That means that in one microliter is equal to 10 to the negative 6 liters. That's what that means. Okay? Or if you like 1 times 10 to the negative 6, that's the same thing. So I convert to the base, and then I go from the base, I want to convert to what I'm headed to, milliliters. I want to end up in milliliters. So I need to say, well, how many milliliters are in a liter? So in 1 milliliter, there are 10 to the negative 3 liters, the base right there. All right, so this is a way you can convert. That's what these little numbers up here. This is how many are in the base. So in this is, I'm just going to put B for base. So if you want to substitute in M for meter, L for liter, or G for gram, you could do that. So, so we know in 457 microliters, in 1 microliter, there's 10 to the negative 6 liters. That's what that means. So I travel to the base, and then I want to convert from the base, L, to milliliters. So in 1 milliliter, there's 10 to the negative 3 liters. So now let's use our, what we can do with our calculator is say 4, 5, 7, and you can hit E, negative 6, and then you can divide that by, put divided by, 1 times 1 times this is just 1 times that, E, negative 3. So, that's how you can use your EE button. And so when you do that, you will end up with, what will you end up with? I want to make sure that I'm not doing this too sloppily. All right, let me pause for a second. Okay, so I went to grab my calculator so that I could do it with you. I'm using this type of calculator, and to get to my EE button, I have to hit the blue second button, and it's above the X to the negative 1. I don't know if you can see that right there. So that's what I hit. I hit 457. I hit second, EE, negative 6, and when I use my negative, I use this little negative right there. And then I hit my division button, and I hit the second EE, negative 3. That gives me 0.457 milliliters. So now we're about to bust through these first ones using our EE button when we can. Okay, so number 1. Let's try to do it the second way. Make sure we're good at that. If we've got 3 kilometers and we want to travel to millimeters, this is what we do. Start with what you know. 3 kilometers over 1. I'm going to go to the base. So I want kilometers to be down here and meters to be up here. And then I'm going to travel from the base, meters, to where I want to go, millimeters. So right here, how many meters are in a kilometer? I go to the km, 10 to the 3 over 1 kilometer. How many meters are in a millimeter? I go over here to millimeter, 10 to the negative 3 in 1 millimeter. Okay, and so what's going to happen is these will cancel, and in my calculator, I'll say 3 EE 3, or 3 times second EE 3 times 1 will be the same, and then I'll say divided by 1 times 1 times this. So just divided by EE negative 3. Second EE negative 3, and that gives me this big number, 3,000,000, or 3.0 times 10 to the 6th, and this is millimeters. And hopefully that's the same answer we got before, and it is, so that's a good thing. So let's go ahead and do the next one. You could just, I'm just going to do maybe I'll do a couple more, but you get the gist of it. So what we'll do here is if you've got, let's do this one. We started off, we said, okay, we've got 3.6 times 10 to the 10th millimeters. 3.6 times 10 to the 10 millimeters. And we want to convert this to kilometers. We're going to travel through the base. Let me make it 3.6 times 10 to the 10 millimeters over 1. I want to travel to the base. I want to convert millimeters to meters. And then I want to convert meters to, where do I want to go? To kilometers. to km. So all I got to do is say, okay, how many meters are in a millimeter? Okay, here's the millimeter. How many? There's 10 to the negative 3. So 10 to the negative 3 in 1 millimeter. And then how many kilometers are in a meter? 10 to the 3. 10 to the 3. Oops. 10 to the 3 in 1 kilometer. All right, so let's see here. The millimeters cancel. The meters cancel. So with my calculator, I'll do this very carefully. 3.6 EE, I'm going to say times EE 10 times EE negative 3 times 1 will be the same. Divided by 1 times EE 10 to the 3. All right, so let's see what happens here. Clear this off. I'm going to say 3.6 second EE 10 times second EE negative 3. And by hitting enter, that's like putting parentheses. Now I'm going to say divide parentheses second EE 3. And I get 36,000 kilometers, or 3.6 times 10 to the 4th kilometers, like I did the first time. So you can go back and practice and check, and you'll get the same answers. Now let's do the last two on here. This has got to do with a concentration. The antibiotic solution is made up of 0.2 micrograms per liter of ampicillin. So this is a concentration, sort of like a rate. We've got two things going on. It's an amount per an amount. So you've got this concentration here of an antibiotic solution. So we've got 0.2 micrograms per liter. And it wants to know how much ampicillin is dissolved in 500 milliliters of the antibiotic solution. So first, let's convert to micrograms per milliliter. So the only thing we're changing here is the denominator. So let's see. This is what we want to figure out. So start here with what you know. 0.2 micrograms per liter. We want to change liter to milliliter. So let's go through the base. Liter, milliliter. All right. Here we are. Milliliter. There's 0.3 liters. I mean, there's negative 10 to the negative 3 liters. I'm sorry. In 1 milliliter. So let's convert this. 0.2 EE negative 3 divided by 1 is just 0.2 times E negative 3. So 0.2 second EE negative 3 gives us 0.0002 micrograms per milliliter. All right, now the question said, how much ampicillin is dissolved in 500 milliliters of this antibiotic solution? So the question is, if we take this and we put it in 500 milliliters, how many micrograms of antibiotic solution are in there? So we're going to take this and we're going to multiply it by 500 milliliters. Those will cancel and we'll be left with micrograms. So let's see. Take that and multiply it by 500 and we get 0.1. That is not the only way to go about this. With conversions, there are many different ways. As long as you're using an accurate conversion, you'll get there. So that's what's kind of nice about it. Okay, the second one I have on the sheet is, in a laboratory, you determined that the density of a certain solid is 5.23 times 10 to the negative 6. 5.23 times 10 to the negative 6 kilograms per cubic millimeter. So here's something we need to discuss. Cubic millimeter is a unit of volume, so that's important to know. All right, so we want to convert this density into kilograms per cubic meter. All right, we want to convert this into kilograms per cubic meter. So look here. The kilogram stays the same. We only have to convert this unit of volume. So let's concentrate on that. 5.23 times 10 to the negative 6 kilograms per 1 cubic millimeter. What we know is that, let's convert to from millimeters to meters. Now this is a problem. This is to the third and this is to the first, so we're gonna have to deal with that, but that's okay. First let's start here. Go to your chart. Here's a millimeter. It's 10 to the negative 3. So there are 10 to the negative 3 meters in 1 millimeter. This is an accurate conversion. But the problem is this is the first power. These are linear and this is cubic. So we need to convert that. What we're allowed to do is cube the numerator and the denominator, because this is the statement 1 millimeter is equal to 10 to the negative 3 meters. You are allowed to cube both sides of an equation. That's why that's okay. So if we do that, 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. Millimeters times millimeters times millimeters is cubic millimeters. So that's what we get right here. All right. Over here, if we cube both the side, power to power is multiplied. This is 10 to the negative 9 meters cubed. So that's what we get here, to the negative 9 meters cubed when we cube both sides of this. So this is an accurate proportion or equality statement. And so now our units are okay. They're agreeing. And so now we just take, with our calculator, 5.23 EE negative 6, 5.23 EE negative 6, and then we're going to divide it by EE negative 9, and we get 5,260. Did I put in the wrong thing? Oh, I put in 5.26. That's why I got a 6 instead of 3. Let me go again. 5.23 EE negative 6 divided by EE negative 9, and I get 5,230 kilograms per cubic meter. And that's how you can convert something like that.